Hey beautiful people, welcome back to a new video on our channel Read Travel Become. Last week I had put a post on my community page and my Instagram page asking a Q&A, asking about any questions which you guys might have for me. There are lots of insightful questions. I've handpicked a few of them which I thought would be valuable for my audience. So I'm gonna answer all of those questions in this particular video. So make sure you watch the video till the end. You may never know which thought or fact may resonate with you and change the course of your life. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, a large number of you guys have asked me that what subject I am pursuing currently in Duke University. First, I'll answer that because there were literally a lot of questions asking me which course are you studying and how did you prepare for it and for how long are you here in the US. So let me first answer that. I'm pursuing Masters in Engineering Management from Duke University. It's a 3-semester course, 1.5 years course. You can also do it in 1 year, but I'm pursuing it in 3 semesters. It's basically a blend of engineering and management. Like you basically get to learn business fundamentals if you have an engineering background. So that is why it particularly tailored to my interests, and here I am. And for the preparation aspect of it, you just have to fill out the applications, you have to upload a resume, you have to give GRE, TOEFL, and there was an interview as well when I applied. You can find all the details on the Duke MEM website, and that's how I'm here. I had actually applied in 2020 and I had deferred my admission by a year because of the pandemic. If you have any questions about the course, do email me your queries. I'm happy to answer them. Dialogue Doodles by Kalyani asked, which is the book which resonates your soul? Why you went to the US for studies? I've talked about this. Shoe Dog is one book which really motivated me in life in more than one ways. There are lots of books actually. Man's Search for Meaning by Dr. Viktor Frankl. That was one book which again resonated with me a lot. Barking Up the Wrong Tree by Eric Barker. Lots of amazing books. And why did you go to the US for studies? Particularly to meet new people and gain an international perspective, because I've always seen that whenever I'm exposed to a new environment, I learn a lot. I am actually facing a lot of challenges every single day, so it's really helping me grow in the long run. I also am very impressed with the learnings from the book Who Moved My Cheese, where it is shown that the change is the only constant in life. So I actually wanted a big change in my life, and especially the quality of education. There's a lot of difference here in the quality of education and the way they treat education here. So I'm going to talk about all of that. So that was one of my main reasons to come to the US. Akshata Jabade asks, how did you manage to get so many subscribers in just 1 year? See, it was never about subscribers for me. It was all about, I've talked about this before, that it was all about facing the camera in some ways or the other. And when the pandemic happened, I saw that I have a huge stack of books. Let's talk about books, and it just started. I've never invested my time and efforts into marketing my channel or promoting my channel in any ways. How did you manage to get? I don't know. I just put my content and maybe people liked it, and that's how it should be, right? Like when you find an organic audience, it really resonates very nicely with whatever message you want to send to your audience. So I did not do anything specially for gaining subscribers. Shimoski asks, what do you think is different in books compared to other arts like music, paintings, movies? What's the magic? Beautiful question, Shimoski. I don't think there is any difference. So there's a book called Flow by Mihaly. The surname is really long. So in that book, it's written that these art forms, music, painting, movies, books, they are basically like when you are doing them, people who love doing it, they are in a flow state with the art. For example, I really like to dance. I used to dance a lot in my undergrad. It doesn't look like it, but I used to dance a lot in my undergrad. And when I am dancing on stage, in fact, whatever art form I'm performing, I always feel connected with the art so much that in that time frame, I forget who I am, I forget what my past is, I forget what I want to do in the future. It's like a blank state. Reading books is something just like that. You are exactly in the flow with the art, and when it comes to music, paintings, everything is like a flow state. Someone who loves reading is something just like someone who likes painting or who likes watching movies or listening to music. Kulpreet Singh asks, what are some hard truths about pursuing MS in the US? Many people feel that coming to the US you'll have a glamorous life and you would have an amazing life, you will have lots of money, you'll get a job, and everything will be good. But it's not at all like that. Doing MS in the US is a struggle actually. You would have seen a lot of videos on YouTube as well about people pursuing masters in the US, that how painful it is every single day to leave everything, leave your comfort behind and come here. Every day it's a new challenge. You're coping up with a new system, you're coping up with new way of living. There are these little things which you are changing in your everyday habits. You are basically changing yourself entirely. So the transition is a painful process. Once it's done, maybe it gets easier, but currently I am in the transition phase. And it's not very easy. People think everything will be managed, but it's not very easy, especially if you are used to having a lot of comforts around you. Doing an MS in the US is a pretty hard thing. Also, it's very important to know how to cook food. I'm struggling with that a lot. I didn't know how to cook. I'm learning here how to cook, because you have to cook your own food. In India, there are just millions of options to have food every day. You have your home, you have so many ways to order food, but here it's not like that. Things are expensive outside. You have to cook your own food and manage time for that as well. You have to keep your groceries on track, you have to manage all your expenses, you have to manage all your assignments. And the next thing which I would like to share with my audience is that everybody thinks by coming to the US now just life is set and you'll get a job and you'll earn in dollars and stuff, but it's not at all like that. You have to fight a lot for the jobs here also. There are a lot of changing rules and scenarios, plus there's a lot of competition. People are very smart here, and I love the fact that people are very smart here. I like being in a room where people are more intelligent than me and more smarter than me. So you have to struggle a lot to keep up the pace, spending a lot of your parents' hard-earned money, or you're taking a loan, whatever. So it's a struggle every day. These things keep reminding you every day that why you are here, and it will always pinch you that you have to somehow repay all of this. I would say it's not as glamorous as it sounds. Plus, when it comes to part-times, people feel, okay, meko part-time mil jayega, RATA mil jayega, cover up my rent from that. But to get that also, you have to fight a lot. You have to separate yourself out from the crowd to get a part-time job as well. Devin asks, you have been reading for a long time, which is that one book that has been very difficult to finish? Yeah, I've talked about this. There's one book called 100 Years of Solitude. I know people who have read it, they tell me that the ending is brilliant and you should complete it, but I was not able to complete it. I tried twice or thrice. It's a very heavy book, and the names of the characters are all similar. I was not able to complete that book. Next is Supposed to Be Different. One of my seniors from college, he asks, how are you keeping the consistency for making videos or to read books? So here again, I'll come back to my previous answer, where things like these, reading books, making videos, is something like feeding your soul. These are the things which you do not consider as tasks. When you do it, it doesn't make you feel overburdened, or you don't feel like you're working. Like when I'm shooting this video, I don't feel that I'm pushing myself to do this. It's just like I love doing it, and when I'm doing this process, I'm in a good flow state. So that is why it just happens. It's not like I've planned it, ki I have to do this much, I have to do that much. It's not at all planned. But when you really like doing something, you always have time for it. Because if you read about all these successful leaders and these mega successful people, even if they are so busy, they manage to find out time to read books, to do the activities that they love doing. It's just a matter of how much do you like doing something. If you really like doing it, you will always have time for it. Diksha asks, which city of India do you miss the most and why? So there's an analogy here. It said that whenever there was an interview I was watching of an astronaut who had been back from space, and he was telling in his interview that when he saw Earth from the space, he had this feeling of collectivism, that we all are one. Like there's no international, national, nothing such. We all, as a human, as an individual, we all are just a part of a bigger system. So I would like to extrapolate that to my answer. Like it's not which part of India do you miss after coming to the US. It's like I miss every part of India. India is just one thing for me. There's no specific thing. Lots of little things remind me of India, be it regular conversations, be it food, lots of little habits. Everything reminds me of my home country. Deeks21 asks, which is the best book you have read on astronomy? Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think, is my favorite book on astronomy because it is a light read. It's not very heavy. Other than that, I also love The Science of Interstellar by Kip Thorne. Beautiful books. Chetali sometimes asks, hi, really like your videos. How difficult is it to not be in the stream which you are passionate about? People always say that you should always pursue what you like, pursue what your passion is. But the main problem with our generation especially is you actually don't know what you like, right? So all these books, all these philosophy books always tell that know thyself. Like you should know what you want. But we have so many distractions all around these days. We have these commercials, we have these advertisements, and basically the plot of Fight Club, that you buy things you don't need, so you don't actually know what you want. So what happens for our generation is, if they don't like something, if it is taking much of their time and they're finding it very difficult, they just skip it, telling that this is not my passion. But I feel to pursue anything in life, first you need to start from a ground level. For example, if you join a big company, if you join the company of your dreams, you have to start from ground zero. You can't just take management decisions and work in hosh posh teams just on your day one. Just because you like doing that doesn't mean you should do that. We always start from ground zero and battle up the way forward. So the key here is to understand what you like doing or not. You need to do it first. If it is challenging me, I should try to overcome that challenge and then decide whether I like doing it or not. I should not just give it up on the fact that it is challenging for me and it's not my passion, so I shouldn't do it. Aniket Sarode asks, hi bro, my question to you is, are you interested to write a book? Yes, I definitely am interested to write a book. It is one of my dreams actually to write. There are two dreams. One is to write a memoir, to write all of my experiences, but for that I need to have some very good experiences first. So that is a far-fetched dream. The book would definitely be called Read Travel Become, because reading and traveling are two things which are very close to my heart, and which have changed my life for the better. So that book will be called that. Title reveal. And another book I want to write is a science fiction novel. I'm working on some plots. I mean, I have it in the back of my mind. I haven't started writing it, but I wish to write a very nice science fiction novel someday, because I'm very, very fascinated by the world of science fiction. Nishita asks, how do you prioritize and get multiple things done? I don't have a list to prioritize. I just have a list where I know these things would make me happy and these things I have to do. There's just two bifurcations there. So the things which I really like doing, they automatically get done. Like I said, if I want to make videos, if I want to do some creative work, I get it done. I struggle with those things which I don't really like doing but I have to do. So I struggle with those things. Niharika asks, what is so different about Duke University's and India's education system? How are the people there? Okay, let me answer the second part here. Contrary to popular opinion on the internet, people are very, very sweet here. People are very helpful here. You just have to ask them. No one is going to come to you and tell you, okay, if you're struggling with this, let me help you. No, you have to go them and ask for help, and they will make sure that you will get the appropriate help. So I've found that out in my stay here in the US, that people are very, very helpful here. And the next thing is, what is so different about Duke University? The basic structure of it, why are we pursuing what we are doing, is very clear in this education system. So because we have a lot of relevant electives, why do you want to pursue a subject is very clear. The way the course is structured, the assignments are structured, it's very close to real life, and most of the subjects here are team based. You're working in teams, you don't have individual things, so that gives you a very nice experience of actually working in a company, or starting a company of your own someday. That the education system actually aligns with that. in my undergrad it was not very clear to me that why am I doing this subject, and what is the outcome after learning this subject. Plus the exam system, they don't believe in making you ratify everything and then pouring it all out in an exam. It's a continuous process. Every week we have quizzes, assignments, which is a continuous learning, so you don't really have a fear of exam. And exams are also like, most of the exams are take away exams, like you can do it on your own pace and in your own homes. So Sonali asks, will there be more travel videos now? Yeah, compared to my previous cycle, definitely more travel videos. It's not like I would not make reading videos. It'll be a mix, because I really wanted to make travel videos also when I started this channel. My channel is named Read Travel Become, right? So it is going to be a mix of travel and reading both. But do let me know in the comment section what kind of videos you guys prefer. I love making both of those videos, and travel videos are very less on my channel, so I wish to explore this space also. Next is GRG Aaron asks, love watching your content. Where did you found that line, you may never know which thought or fact may resonate with you? Thank you. Love from Nepal. Thank you, bro. That line, actually, there's no specific answer to this. It just came to me, I think I was reading something and it was written there ki, you should read this book and it was written there that you should read this book fully, because anything can trigger you and anything can help you shape your mind. So I think it came from there. I don't remember which book, but I like structuring that because it really goes well with our lives, because like YouTube, it perfectly resonates with my channel, because I never imagined myself talking like this in front of a camera 2 years back, but here I am now making a video every week and enjoying the process. I never knew that I would be making videos, and just one thought and fact changed my mind, and here I am. So I really like that line. Ishwari Pawar asks, which fictional character you could relate yourself to? That's a very interesting question, Ishwari. There are a lot of characters actually, but currently I would say I'm relating a lot to the characters written by Jhumpa Lahiri. All her characters are NRI people, like Indian Americans. I'm not exactly an NRI, I'm just a student here studying in the US, but I'm relating to that factor where they are exploring that change. All of her characters, most of her characters from her books. So I'm currently relating myself to those characters where they are exploring new things, but also same time having the nostalgia of leaving a country. Black Panther and Thalapathy Thagachi have asked this question, like, tell me one of your dreams and what's your aim in life. So dreams keep changing, and aims keep changing all the time, but there's one particular thing which I want to pursue. It's a long far-fetched dream that I want to start a mental gym kind of a thing. Let me just put it out there in the universe that like there are physical gyms, right, where people like to buy a membership and they join a physical gym to train their body. I want to start a mental gym someday where there are a lot of good books, podcasts, meetings, interactions with this particular community of building your mental health. Not exactly mental health, but your mental capacity. Just like you train your body to be fit, I want to build something in India where you can train your mind. I really like this concept because I want people to flex about their minds as much as they flex about their bodies. Like a good, well-toned body is always something which is, people really like watching a good body and a fit body. I really want people to also experience a fit mind, a healthy mind. So let's see if I find a relevant team someday where they also share this vision with me and would want to start this venture someday. Again, a very interesting question from Soumya. What did Harry Potter specifically taught you the most, favorite character and part of it too? The one thing which it has taught me that you need to be in the environment which respects your virtues. I think I've talked this in one of my previous videos also. When Harry was in the Muggle world, nobody knew him, nobody knew what he's capable of. Like, he's like just another guy. But in the wizarding world, he is like one of the best wizards ever. So you should always keep in mind that if you're not in an environment where your virtues are not celebrated, you should change the environment. So I tried to answer the questions which I thought would be valuable to our audience, but I'm sorry if I didn't pick your question by any chance. All of the questions were really nice, and I'm grateful that you guys asked me these questions. Thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you have given me on my channel. If you like this video, if you like this content, don't forget to comment down below and share this video. This was actually the second Q&A video which I've done on my channel, but I feel I should do it more often. So yeah, that's all for this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.